Padantikam Vande Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sa Agrachatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vidhanscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो हरे कृष्णा वेलकम after a week's gap we are meeting. Last time we had met 2 weeks back. Last week there was wonderful festival. I also was not wanting to miss any moment of it. I saw all of you were also very nicely serving in that festival of Sankirtan, Prem Sankirtan. So it was a wonderful event. Today, yesterday, today, it's been a very special occasion of Ramachandra Vijayotsava, Vijayadashmi, Dashera. Yes. So on the day of Dashera, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, they enacted how Lord Ram defeated and killed Ravana in the battle. They enacted that Leela. Remember that Leela actually. And of course, it's also a day of appearance of one of our very important Acharya in our line, Srila Madhvacharya. Yes. So he's the chief Acharya in our line. That's why our line is called as Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. So he has his contributions are immense. Today, in the course of discussion, we will see some of them as we learn in Ishopanishad. So in the Ishopanishad discussion so far, we have completed 8 mantras. Almost half of the Ishopanishad is complete. The remaining half, which is little cryptical, little quizzy, little confusing, is now the part coming actually. And we'll see that. We'll try to follow Prabhupada's words and make it simple as much as possible. So let's quickly recite the important verses and continue. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Ishavasyanidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha Magrida Kasya Svidhanam. So last time we did see about these qualities, right? Akaya, Asnabhiha, Shukra, Yatha Tatyata Arthan Vyadadhat, Paribhu, Swayambhu, Shuddham, Apapaviddham. These two are very important. Shuddham, Apapaviddham, Avranam, Kavir and Manishi. So some of the qualities meanings you should remember for your exams also. Prabhupada also uses them. They are Akayam, Asnaviram, Shuddham, Apapaviddham. So these 4 we had discussed it. Especially Shuddham and Apapaviddham are very special. Prabhupada explains it in a very special way. Antiseptic and prophylactic. Check the book. So he gives that meaning. So that is important to understand. So today we'll proceed from here. And last time I did give introduction to mantra 9. We had started also a little bit of it. Am I right? Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So last time I was telling that Ishopanishad mantra 9 onwards, it's a section on knowledge or vidya. So in that discussion, I had told that broadly there are three types of vidya. Any of you recollect? What are the three types of vidya? Yes. Any of you noted it?
Vidya
What are the
with
three types of? Uh-huh. You see this chart? Someone can explain based on this chart. There's quite a good hint. What are these three types of vidya? Yes. Yes. Krishna Prabhu, Radha Gokulanam Prabhu. Who else is here? Rishikesh Prabhu. Remember these three types of vidya? Or maybe we'll quickly revise. Huh? I think it's been too much of a gap.
Krishna.
Yeah, audible.
Krishna.
So what are these three types of vidya? The first type of vidya, it's called, the word is used is avidya. You can better call it as nastika vidya. What it means is, it is surely about this world, it is material knowledge, but it is not based on scriptures. It is atheistic knowledge. Atheistic means that which is not dependent on scripture. The second type is based on scriptures, that is Vedas, but it is about this world. That's why it is called Vedic material knowledge, apara vidya. And the third one, very famous, Vedic spiritual knowledge. Spiritual knowledge means here knowledge about that spiritual world, how to go back to spiritual world, all that, like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, all these scriptures. That is Paravidya. So it's very clear distinction is there between them. First one is Nastika Vidya. What is it? Can someone explain any two, three terms about it? What is atheistic knowledge or Nastika Vidya? Yes. What is it?
Material knowledge, which is not from Vedas, but it is
Not.
important or maybe sustainable for human to live.
Yeah. True. It's very practical. Sometimes very, especially in today's day and age where Vedas are not followed much, but people are inventing so many nice utilities. Is it not? So that is a knowledge which is atheistic, non-shastric, but it is material knowledge, like the computers we are using, the technology, the communications we have. All this is it not? The second one is aparavidya, Vedic material knowledge. Paravidya, Vedic spiritual knowledge. Now, in these shlokas, mantras 9 to 11, last time we did see how these mantras, they explain Vidya in very confusing manner. The mantra number 9 says, if one follows avidya, he will go to darkness. If one follows so-called Vidya or false Vidya, he will go to much deeper darkness. If one follows, that's mantra 9. Mantra 10 says, one result is obtained by following avidya, that is darkness. Another result is obtained by following vidya, that's entirely different. There it is told they are different directions of avidya and vidya. And mantra 11 says both should be cultivated, both should be learned. So it is confusing. So that's why it's important to understand this fourth type of knowledge, which is not a category. It is and misunderstanding. Is it not? It is called false knowledge, so-called knowledge. People think that is knowledge, but that is actually incomplete or false. What is this category? Today we will see that. Okay. So in the last time's discussion, we did see in mantra number, which was that we were reading? Sorry, I will just quickly take there. Mantra 9. Yeah. Can you read translation, please? What's on the screen? Kindly read the translation on the screen.
Those who engage in the culture of nascent activities shall enter into the darkest region of ignorance. Worse still are those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge.
So-called knowledge. Very, very striking. So the purport is very interesting. I'll quickly show what did we discuss last time, and then from there we'll take it ahead. Okay. So last time we did see that how the so-called education of today there is so much of knowledge given, but that knowledge is not based on God consciousness. So that's why it becomes very dangerous in long term. It is actually avidya. It is helping us in our day-to-day life, but it will not help in long term. In fact, it will give us so many bad results even in this life. So Prabhupada explains that so-called education is more dangerous than less education. People today are knowing how to speak, how to use things, is it not? But you see, the effect of that learning is more insecurity, more crime, is it not? More fall in the values. Character has so degraded. There is so much of war in the world, is it not? So this have come because there is education given without values or without God consciousness. So Prabhupada stresses this a lot. So what we are seeing currently is this. What branch of this thing we are seeing? See, there are two things in this. In all these three shlokas, you will see something called avidya and something is called vidya. In this shloka, what is told is avidya is dangerous. Avidya is dangerous. And in fact, vidya is far more dangerous. How is that? We'll see later. So avidya is dangerous. What is avidya? That which is godless. Godless education is dangerous. And later we will see something related to Shastra or God, but it is false. It is more dangerous. That will come little later. So what we are seeing is only the left side of the column, avidya. So we will see some purports points. Last time we did discuss about this quite much, but nonetheless, we will just read the highlighted part. Can you read the heading, so-called education?
So-called education is more dangerous than less education.
This mantra, you can read the first paragraph, this mantra.
This mantra offers a comparative study of Vidya and Avidya. Avidya or ignorance is undoubtedly dangerous, but Vidya or knowledge is even more dangerous when mistaken or misguided. This mantra of Sri Upanishads is more applicable today than any time in the past. A
Continue.
godless
Modern civilization. Yeah.
a godless civilization directed towards
No, you can read this paragraph alone. Modern civilization.
modern civilization has advanced considerably in the field of mass education, but the result is that people are more unhappy than ever before because of the stress placed on material advancement due to exclusion of the most important part of life, the spiritual aspect.
So the education is given, but what is excluded or left away is spiritual aspect. See, in the earlier times, people were educated, but their education was on the basis of spiritual aspect. Its goal also was spiritual aspect. right? But today that is excluded. What is the purpose of education? To get money, to get job. That's the only purpose. So due to which there is so much of uh, um, difficulties one is facing. So Prabhupada explains it is more dangerous. So below, Prabhupada talks about some comparisons, how it is dangerous. Can you read the highlighted part?
The advancement of learning by godless people is as dangerous as a valuable jewel on the hood of a cobra. A cobra
Ah,
decorated with a valuable jewel is more dangerous than one not decorated. The
ah,
advancement of education by a godless people is compared to decoration on dead body. In India, as
ah,
in many other countries, some people follow the custom of leading a procession with a decorated dead body for the pleasure of the lamenting relatives. In the
ah,
same way, modern civilization is a patchwork of activities meant to cover the perpetual miseries of the material existence.
So this is interesting what is told here. That is that it is here told that if a cobra is seen, everyone will fear and understand that it is dangerous. But if the cobra has a jewel on top, it becomes attractive into the eyes of people. Similarly, if someone is not educated, he doesn't know anything, people will understand he doesn't have any good value. But if someone has education, but that education is devoid of God consciousness, he appears to be educated, he appears to be learned and advanced, but actually he is as dangerous as that person who is not educated. Is it not? Similarly, like the cobra having a jewel is at least as poisonous as the cobra not having a poison. Just like that. Another example told is of what is another example told?
Decorating death body.
Dead body. So dead body is lifeless. Yeah. But if someone decorates the dead body, will it bring back the life? No. Yeah. So absence of God consciousness is not of great value. Even if you put mundane education on it, it will not bring value unless you put God consciousness. That is the point. So here Prabhupada explains that today's education, it is wonderful because it is providing us a lot of facilities and comforts, but it has missed out an important aspect of life, that is spiritual aspect, God consciousness, Krishna consciousness, due to which people are seeing that result. Nowadays, the most number of crimes are committed by most educated. Most educated people are so depressed. The world is always in the edge of a war, and that has been raked up by the advancement of technology. People are threatening each other because I have more advanced, godless, mundane education. I can destroy you at the button or at just a thought. Just see, earlier people, though they were not very educated, at least they were safe. They had that confidence. Yes, yes, tomorrow I will see the morning sun. But today, people don't even have that confidence. When they go out of the home, will they be able to safely return or not? Just see. So, why one should live in such kind of unsafe and non-confident life? What? How can there be happiness in such life? It is so artificial. Though there are comforts, people can't enjoy those comforts. They're earning so much, but are they able to enjoy that? No. Right? So this is shown by Prabhupada. In fact, in one of the next mantras purport, it becomes more evident. We will see that more. Now, what we saw was avidya. This is all avidya, that is godless education. Now, what comes ahead is vidya. This vidya is is not godless, but at the same time it is false. What is that? The two categories of that false spiritual knowledge. Two categories of that. They are explained here. I will give a brief overview of that and then we will go to learn them. Okay. Anytime you get confused, please stop me. Okay. Please stop me at that point. So what we are seeing is culture of so-called knowledge, false spiritual knowledge. Two varieties in that Prabhupada talks. The first one is called Karma Kanda. Have you heard about it? Any of you know about it? Whatever you know, can someone try to explain what is Karma Kanda? What is Karma Kanda?
You do something and you get something from it.
Okay, that is the case in any kind of work, no? Like we do devotional service. We want to attain mercy of Krishna. Can that be said like Karma Kanda? We do something, we get something. What is Karma Kanda? You're right, the mentality is like that, but it is a little more detailed.
Endeavoring for sense enjoyment.
Endeavoring for sense enjoyment. Okay. Anything more? That's true. That is true. Anyone else want to add? Anyone else want to add? Where is Karma Kanda described? Think about
Vedas.
it. Vedas. My God, Vedas talk about this sense gratification knowledge. Okay, anything more you want to say, Prabhu? Yeah.
Haribol,
Yeah.
bro.
Yes, I'm
So,
able to hear. Yeah.
bro, I'm just guessing.
Mm-hmm.
So, worshipping the demigods for the
Yeah.
purpose of achieving something material.
Okay. Okay. Demigod worship. Okay. That is little different, but nonetheless, that spirit is same to get some
Okay.
material enjoyment. Yes. Anyone else want to add? Thank you. All of you told an aspect of it.
Bro, can we say Puranas? Because whenever we speak about that particular Puran, it specifically mentions about that particular demigod worship. And because of which it is again in that particular stage that why we are worshipping demigod is because we want something from him or we want to enjoy something material, therefore we are worshipping that particular demigod. We are not worshipping him for, I mean, like how we worship Krishna
Okay.
for bhakti, like that. So
Okay.
therefore
Okay.
Puranas can be described as they mention about karma kand.
Okay. Okay. I'll clarify that part surely.
Okay.
So Karma Kanda is uh, is a way, because most of the people in this world, they want material enjoyment. So Vedas tell, okay, you want material enjoyment, you do this, you will get it. By seeing this, oh, these Vedas are giving me a path to obtain enjoyment in this world. So far, I was trying to enjoy in this world without following Vedas. I could not find much happiness. If I follow Vedas, I can get much happiness, even this life and next life also. So the people of Karma Kanda, first thing, they follow Vedas. They are not like materialists who don't follow any scripture. No, no. They follow Vedas, the first thing. But the goal is what? The second thing. What's the goal? What is the goal of following Vedas?
Material gains.
For Karma Kanda.
Material gains, bro.
Say again. Material gain, material
Material.
enjoyment. True. That correct. Material enjoyment. So Karma Kandi, he knows that he is not the body, he is soul. Please understand this. He knows that he is not the body, he is soul. But he understands, okay, I will have to take a body again in next life. But how can I get happiness in that life? Anyway, I have to keep changing the body. But every time I have to get a body, I have to go for happiness. So let me try to get that. Even in this life and next life, he plans even for happiness in next life also. Whatever he is following in this life, he is giving him happiness in this life and also in the next life. That is his thought. So people sometimes do some vratas, some upavasas, some yajnas, some charity. Understand? All this with the view to either get happiness in this life or in next life. What happiness? Material happiness. So the Karma Kanda scriptures, what interestingly is they are saying they are actually attracting people who have this materialistic mentality so that they at least follow Vedas. When they start following Vedas, there is a greater scope for them to hear the spiritual knowledge, because Vedas also talk about spiritual knowledge, no? They don't just only talk about material knowledge, is it not? So they are also talking about the temporary nature of this world, the supreme person, the devotion, all this they are talking, renunciation, detachment, all that they also talk. And they get to associate with some saintly people. That's wonderful for their growth. But at the same time, their goal is material enjoyment. That's why there is a process given by Vedas to fulfill that. But the trap here is when one follows them, he thinks Vedas are this much only. What is that? You do some good activities, you do some puja, some dan, some vrat, some tapa, and get some happiness in next life. This is the goal of Vedas. There is nothing higher than this. When they reach this conclusion, the conclusion that the Vedas goal is just this much only, to get happiness in next life. That's all. Forget about spiritual world, all that. Not interesting, not important. That is the trap. That is the falsity. That is the incompleteness or imperfectness in Karma Kanda. Krishna speaks this in Bhagavad Gita in 3rd chapter. In fact, sorry, in 2nd chapter only. Yamimam pushpitam vacham. Because Vedas tell some words which attract very much. They describe about heavenly worlds. They describe about the pleasures there, the beautiful aroma, the beautiful scenery, the immense amount of enjoyment available. You see, this is all Karma Kanda. Actually, the Vedas don't just talk about this. They also talk about other things. But people who are only wanting this, they become blinded. They cannot see anything more. They think this is the goal of Vedas. Actually, if you see the other scripture here mean Quran, Bible, other religions, they only talk about this. They don't have any other aspect. What? If you do like this, you'll get good happiness in next life. They have their own ways to explain it. But in Vedic philosophy, culture, there is something higher than this worldly happiness taught. But Karma Kandi becomes blind to that. That is what is the path of Karma Kanda. That is the false knowledge, the first type of false knowledge. What is the second type told here in the slide? What's the second type? Are you able to see this slide?
Mayavad.
Mayavad. Mayavad. That's the second type is called Mayavad. So Mayavad means here the person says, no, there is some God, there is something high divine force beyond this world. We should not just go for happiness in this world. We should actually leave this world. This world is false. We should leave this world and go outside this world. Wow. At least it's better than Karma Kanda, you think like that, right? Because Karma Kandi was only wanting happiness in this world. He doesn't had any other understanding of beyond the world. But for Mayavadi, he understands, oh, there is actual life beyond this world. But his understanding of that beyond world is an impersonal and no variety existence. Nirakara, Nirvishesha Astitva, it is called. And he tells that God actually is impersonal. It doesn't have a form. So like this, it is also telling false knowledge. The beautiful form of Lord is in fact decried by that. which we will see now actually. Okay, let us go to read this. Can you read this, Prabhu, from beginning according to Bhagavad Gita? Can you read this according to Bhagavad Gita 2.42?
Haribol. According to Bhagavad Gita
Yes.
2.42 7.15, mistaken mundane educators are known as Veda Vadarata and Mayaya Paharata Jnana. They may also be
Jnana.
atheist
So these are the
demons.
two categories of false knowledge. You know, the two categories names are told. In the shloka, it is told Veda Vada Rata. The first one is Veda Vada Rata, which is actually talking about the Karma Kanda. Okay. The next one is Mayaya. What is that? Apahrata Jnana. This actually comes in Bhagavad Gita 7.15. So this is actually talking about Mayavad. Okay. Read ahead. They may also
be atheistic demons, the lowest of men. Those who are Veda Vadarata pose themselves as very learned in the Vedic literature, but unfortunately, they are completely diverted from the purpose of the Vedas.
So here, Krish Prabhupada quotes two shlokas. Okay, let us understand these shlokas. I am now showing you the Bhagavad Gita shloka. The first one is 2.42. Okay, so this shloka actually describes Karma Kanda. Remember, so we will read directly the translation of it. Can you read this, Prabhu? Man of, are you able to see?
Translation: men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, result in good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this.
So they are following Vedas, but they are attracted to only one part of Vedas, which is actually meant to attract people. That's not the goal of Vedas, but they think this is the goal of Vedas. There is nothing more than this. What? Just to get happiness and live opulently. That is the goal of. That is Karma Kanda. So Prabhupada says they actually don't know the purpose of Vedas. You see, the purpose of Vedas is to know the Supreme Lord. But these people who are called Veda Vada Rata, in the shloka of this 2.42, that word is there. Veda Vada Rata Partha Nanyadasti Vadinaha. So such people, they are not interested in Supreme Lord. They are just attracted to the promise of material happiness, like attainment of heaven and all that. So there is some description of them. So they don't know the ultimate purpose of all Vedas is to actually ultimately take people to spiritual world. They don't know about it. Can you read the highlighted part here? Misguided people. Yeah.
Such people misguide others by misinterpreting the Vedic literature. Sometimes they even condemn the Puranas, which are authentic Vedic explanations for laymen. The Vedavadaratas, the
Yeah.
Vedavadaratas give their own explanations of the Vedas, neglecting the authority of great teachers, acharyas. They also tend to raise some unscrupulous person from among themselves and present him as the leading exponent of Vedic knowledge.
So there are further characteristics of such karma kandis or Veda Vada Ratas. What are they? One we already saw. They don't know the purpose of Vedas. They are attracted by the promises of material happiness given in the Vedic literature, like attainment of heaven, like that. There are some more told here. Can someone try to say them? What are the qualities of such karma kandis told in this small paragraph? Just now Prabhu read it. Yes.
They don't follow the acharyas, or they neglect them, and
Yes.
they make their own meaning from the scripture.
Very right. They misinterpret. They make their own meaning. Very right. Correct. And interestingly, they condemn. What do they condemn? See that part? They condemn what? What do they
Puranas.
condemn? See that part. Puranas. Why? Why Puranas are condemned? You may wonder, sometimes have you come across people who say, actually, we only accept Shrutis, we only accept Vedas, we don't accept this Puranas, Itihasas, these are all written later. The Vedas or Shrutis, they came directly from God's mouth, so they are only to be accepted. These Puranas and all, they are given by Rishis. We don't take them so seriously. Like that, people argue. Have you come across them? In fact, there is a very famous spiritual institution uh, which only follows Vedas and it only propagates this karma convention. Very famous institution. They don't accept Bhagavad Gita. They don't accept Bhagavatam. Accept it. They say, no, we only accept Shruti, the path of Shrutis. That's what we follow. So they was famous in Saraswati. He founded it. Anyway, the point is that they don't accept Puranas. Why? Because they understand Puranas, they are so directly quoting from stories, the glory of worshipping God, how this world in this life in this world is miserable, how one should leave this world and go to spiritual world is described in Purana so directly. Oh, this cannot be the way, so we will reject it. So they don't accept Puranas, which actually tell about worship of the Supreme Person, the nature of this world as not a very happy place. Ultimately, spiritual world is the place where we want to go. So all that thing, those instructions which are found in Puranas, they don't want to accept. So that's why they condemn. They don't accept Puranic explanations, which are authentic. We have seen this in the introduction to Ishopanishad, the two clear paths, Shruti, and one more was what? Shruti and what was the other one? Remember? Shruti and Smriti. Is it not? Shruti and Smriti. Smriti means these all Puranas, Itihasas, all that. Okay. So in fact, Smritis are explanations of Shrutis. Smritis make Shrutis easy for people. Shrutis are not easy to understand. There are strict regulations for reading Shrutis and following them. But Smritis are more broad. They explain what is told in Shrutis in easy language, with more evidence, with more explanations, and it easy for everyone to follow. That's why Puranas are considered as part of Vedic literature only. It should not be rejected like the way Karma Kandis do. So you all saw now what are all the features of such karma kandis. Can someone quickly recollect from earlier description and now here, what are all the features of such karma kandis quickly? Am I audible? Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sorry, some network problem. I am not a temple, that's why I tolerate this, sorry. I was telling that can someone recollect the features or characteristics of karma kandis? Kindly recollect. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hari
Krishna,
bol.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yes, yes,
Yes, bro. So,
yes.
Karmakand is following the
Ah,
Vedic principles for material gains and sense
mm,
enjoyment.
correct. Okay.
Yes. And
Anything more? Anything more? Do they accept other part of Vedas which talk about spiritual world and all? Do they accept it? Those are online others. Can one try to add this? They don't accept, you see. They condemn Puranas. They misinterpret this. huh? They neglect the Acharyas. They have someone else who is not very learned, who suits their needs as an Acharya. That is Karma Kanda. And that's why it is told it is far dangerous. This Karma Kanda philosophy is far dangerous than even atheism because it takes you to wrong direction only, is it not? Like, say, for example, if I have to go from Pune to, say, Baramati, huh, I have to ask a person who will tell me the way to Baramati. But if someone shows me a way towards, say, Satara, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Am I audible? Hare Krishna,
yes, bro.
Hare Krishna, Hare. Okay. I'm extremely sorry. I am not understanding what the problem. Just outside reliable network is causing problems. So I was telling that if someone tell me the way uh, properly, he's the right person who is rightly guiding me. If someone shows a wrong way and tells this is the way, you go to Baramati. I was telling about Baramati example. If someone shows me the way towards Satara and then tells me this is the way to go to Baramati, oh, that's wrong. So similarly, people have come to Vedas, but they're shown a wrong purpose. They are led in a wrong direction. That's why these people are far dangerous. So can you read below, Prabhu, the so-called students?
The so-called
The
students
so-called
of the
students.
Vedas are condemned herein because they are ignorant of the actual purpose of Vedas on account of their
Hmm.
disobeying the Acharyas.
So that's why these people are condemned and they are called Vedavadaratas. So the Shastras very clearly tell one should follow the Guru, spiritual master, and understand the Vedic knowledge properly. That's the direction. You can't learn on your own. You can't make up your own process and acharyas like that. So that's the first type of false knowledge. What was it? Karma Kanda. The second one was what? Second one was what? The second type of false knowledge. Remember?
Mayavat.
What was it? Maya. Can you read this, Prabhu? Maya ya apaharata jnana. Read this correct.
The Maya Aprata Jnana class of men are self-made gods. Such men think that they
Mm.
themselves are God and that there is no need of worshipping any other god. They will agree to worship an
Mm.
ordinary man if he happens to be rich, but they will never worship the personality of Godhead. Such men, unable to recognize their own foolishness,
Mm,
never
mm,
consider how it
mm,
is that God can be entrapped by Maya, his own illusory energy.
mm,
If God were ever
mm.
entrapped by Maya, Maya would be more powerful than God. Such men say that God is
Ah,
all powerful, but they do not consider that
mhm.
if He is all powerful, there is no possibility of His being overpowered by Maya. This
This
self made God,
logic so nice, bro. This logic is so nice. Huh? If God is supreme, how can he be conquered by Maya? Read ahead. The self-made gods.
these self made gods cannot
Sorry, sorry.
answer all these
Ah,
questions very clearly.
ah, they are.
Uh, wait a minute, bro.
Yeah, it is.
They are simply unsatisfied to have become God themselves.
They're simply satisfied. Means they don't want to answer the queries of people. They will just make people confused. You know, and they want to just profess that, I see you, I am God, you should follow me. So these people are called Mayavadis. Actually, Mayavadis, they make Maya as God. They see so much of Maya, they say Maya is more powerful. Huh? God also comes Maya. Ultimately, this Brahman is the ultimate thing. But you see, when Brahman comes to this world, he is affected by God and affected by Maya, and he takes his form. So Krishna is inferior to Maya, like that. So this is Mayavad. They will worship any normal person as God, but they will not worship Supreme God. They cannot answer such logical questions. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Is it clear?
Yes, bro. Now you are audible.
Okay, okay. I switched off my video hoping that it will be better. I don't know. Okay. We are dependent on Lord only here. Okay. So I was saying that how this Mayavad is more dangerous, huh? That it leads people to such an understanding that people will start thinking they themselves are God. So in this small purport, there is a lot explained here. First is how so-called education, godless education, is more dangerous than less education. And in that sense, culture of avidya was explained by Prabhupada using two examples of that, remember those two examples of cobra and what was the other
Death
one?
body decoration.
Dead body decoration, correct. And the third part is culture of so-called knowledge or false knowledge. In that two are explained. First one is Karmakand, second is Mayavad. Actually, Mayavad has a lot of details within it. Prabhupada has just given very brief of it. You will learn about it when you study Bhagavad Gita directly. Because there Prabhupada talks about it in 7th chapter. You know? These people, they are reading Vedas, but they reach wrong conclusion. That's why it's called Maya Apahrita. Apahrita means stolen. They're reading Jnana from Vedas, but Maya steals their knowledge. Mayaya Apahrita Jnana. That's the meaning there. Okay. So today we saw this small uh, description. This whole mantra number 9 is talking about avidya and vidya. So avidya is godless education. Vidya is education in Vedas, but it is leading into wrong understanding. That is karma kanda and maya. So that's why the word here used is pseudo. You know what is pseudo? Pseudo spiritualist. Pseudo means what? Any of you know? Pseudo.
Hollow.
Pseudo means false, pseudo. They say pseudo person. Pseudo spiritualist means he's a false, fake person. He's in fact a cheater. So that's why it is told below statement. Can you read this below statement? Worse than
materialist is the pseudo-scientist who mislead
no, not scientist. It's not scientist.
spiritualist. Worse than materialist is the pseudo-spiritualist who misled others with misguided knowledge.
Just see, worse than materialist. If a person has gone, is following, materialism, he doesn't follow God. He understands that, yeah, I am not following God. If someone follows God, but he's misled, he is in a great dangerous position. It's very difficult for him to get in the right path, is it not? So that's why we saw these interesting examples also of a snake, cobra with the jewel, the dead body. And in fact, the false knowledge is like this. This is a very famous story in Punjab. This story is about a cheating fox. Fox or a jackal, whatever you call, it is stealing lambs. And once it steals a lamb, it kills it. But what it does is interesting. It puts that lamb upon its body only. And it is going within a group of lambs. And all others are thinking, oh, it's another lamb only which is coming. But what it is exactly? It is a fox in the disguise of lamb. So which of the types of knowledge is it describing? This fox, which is in the vesha of disguise of this lamb. Which type of knowledge it is describing? Godless education. Which one? Which one?
False knowledge, atheistic.
No, atheistic, yeah. Atheistic is one clear. This is based on Vedas. That's why we don't call it atheistic. But it is false. What are the examples we saw, Prabhu? Very important to understand this. What are the examples? Two
Snake which
examples we saw in the...
snake
No,
which
this example was for in the categories of so-called or false knowledge, we saw two varieties, no? Two
karma kand
varieties.
and Mayavadis.
Mayavad. Okay, that is the important thing to note. Okay. So now we will go to mantra number 10. Let's go to
I
mantra.
had a doubt.
Yes.
Haribol.
Yes. Yes.
So, Prabhu, it's regarding karma kanda. So, if we
Correct.
ask for something material from Krishna, knowing that we are a soul, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and we have to go back to Godhead only. But if we are asking something material from Krishna, does that become a part of karma kanda?
No, it is not part of karma kanda. Very important question. I forgot to explain that part. In fact, worship of demigods is also not fully karma kanda. It is something called as upasana kanda. See, in upasana kanda, unlike karma kanda, in upasana kanda, one worships as devata or someone, some person, and he tries to get what he wants. In karma kanda, one follows Vedic rituals. You understand? Yajna, dana, tapa, like that. So, in upasana kanda, he submits to a devata, deity. In worship of Krishna, it is all the more different than even upasana kanda, because Krishna not only provides what the worshipper asks, but he does one extra thing, which is not even asked by the worshipper. He purifies the heart of the worshipper, such that he doesn't again come back to him with the same demand. Is it not? So that's why it is not coming under upasana kand or karma kand. It is bhakti. In fact, it is suggested if one wants to fulfill some material desire, it's better to go to Krishna, because he will not be misled into such wrong understandings. In fact, he will have a greater hope to purify himself. Any example of someone who worshipped Krishna with a material motive.
Dhruv Maharaj.
Any
Dhruv
example?
Maharaj.
Dhruva Maharaj. Correct, correct. Very good example, Dhruva. You see, though he had impure motive, he was purified because, of course, he had a guru who led him to the right direction, Narada Muni. That was the best thing he had. Like that. Is that clear?
So,
Prabhu?
Prabhu, again, so you mentioned Upasana Kand. So, is Upasana Kand a part of Bhakti?
I'm extremely sorry. Tell me again. You are telling about Upasana.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you mentioned Upasana Kand. So my question was, is Upasana Kand a part of Bhakti?
No. It is actually worship of Devatas. Upasana Kanda is nothing but worship of Devatas. You do Upasana. And it's a path of worship. So it's actually a step after Jnana Kanda, it is actually. So
Okay.
in Upasana Kanda, the worship of Devatas is practiced. The Pancharatras, they talk about it. There are a lot of scriptures which describe about worship of Devatas. In Vedas also it is told, but there is a very special category of Satvata Tantras. Tantras are actually about this worship, Tantra Shastras. Especially there are two in that, the left and the right. The left is actually the black tantra, but the right tantras, they are actually for worship, the Tantra Shastras. So worship of Krishna is described in a special Tantra Shastras called Pancharatras, worship of Vishnu and all. So that's a very special category only. Okay, and worship of Krishna is not in Upasana Kand. It is in fact Bhakti. It is beyond Upasana Kand.
Okay,
I
Prabhu.
hope this is clear. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yes.
Guruji,
Yes.
if people in Karma Kand are following rituals and performing yagyas or austerities, then isn't it same as doing Upasana?
There, what they're doing, see, there they are having some deity, understanding of the deity, but they don't really do something to please that deity. Their mood is in following the rules or rituals. See, in the Devata worship, what a person does, he wants to please that Devata. Like Ravana wanted to please Shiva. Correct, no? Brahma wanted to please Brahma. So both Karma Kanda and Upasana Kanda are for material motives. In Karma Kanda, it is rituals. In Upasana Kanda, those rituals are followed, especially keeping of Devata in mind. There is no need to distinguish that both the paths, because both are materially oriented only. Okay, and that's why often Karma Kanda is mixed with explanation of demigod worship also.
Okay, then let's say,
Yeah.
let's take example of Pururava. Then the way he performed yagya for so many years,
Yes.
then was it Karma Kand or Upasana Kand?
No, that we don't say Karma Kand, surely. That is considered as a way towards bhakti only, because you see, because he approached Vishnu for getting some beautiful woman, that was his desire, and he got it, but nonetheless he had to endure some difficulty with it, and later he came to the right conclusion after so many years. So that is a step towards bhakti, because after that he comes to the right conclusion in the 11th canto called Aila Geet and all. He comes to the right conclusion, but it takes time. If one has guru, then that is faster actually. See, in the Vedas, there is one worship of Vishnu called Satyanarayana Puja. Have you heard this? Huh?
Yes.
It is done more for what purpose, Prabhu? And if you know, it is done for what purpose?
For Shanti, I think some people do for Shanti and
Yeah,
something.
basically a ritual. It is done more for material purpose only. to be happy, to be peaceful, to become prosperous, to get children, all these purposes. So Satyanarayana Puja is worship of Vishnu, but with a very karma kandi mentality. Getting? It's a mentality
Yes,
of material worship. So that may give some pious credit, some credit of even Agnata Sukriti also, but that will not transform. There are many Brahmanas who do Satyanarayana Puja, but they don't follow devotional lifestyle. They may be pious. They may be, in fact, following Lord Vishnu, okay. But they may not exhibit the dedication to please Lord Vishnu. Like that. That's what these are all steps towards bhakti. We see it like that. Say karma kanda, it's a step. One should rise from there ahead to karma yoga. From karma kanda, one should rise one step ahead to karma yoga. In karma yoga, what he does, he offers his work to Krishna. Understand? In karma kanda, what he was doing, he was working for himself. In fact, he was following Vedas for himself only. But in karma yoga, he works and offers the results of that work to Supreme Person, Krishna. That's one step higher. Like that. Anyway, these concepts come in Bhagavad Gita. There we will discuss this elaborately. But now here, because it has come, we are seeing a little introduction of that topic. That's why Prabhupada also has not explained much. We'll limit it to that much only. Okay. So let's proceed to mantra number 10. So have your book in front. Mantra number 10. Anyad evahur vidyaya. Anyadahur avidyaya.
Vidyaya
Iti shushrumadhiranam.
iti shushrumadhiranam
Yenastad vichachakshire.
yenastad vichachakshire.
Read the translation.
The wise have explained that one result is derived from the culture of knowledge, and that a different result is obtained from the culture of nescience.
See, in the earlier shloka, what was told? The result of following avidya was darkness. And in the earlier shloka, what was vidya? Recollect?
False, so-called
False
knowledge.
knowledge. So-called knowledge. And what was the result of following false knowledge?
Even darker part of.
Even darker thing. So there was no difference in the quality of result. Do you agree? Both were darkness only, na? But here in this shloka, what is told? One result is obtained by vidya, and a different result is obtained by nescience. Nescience means avidya. Are you getting this clear distinction?
Nescience means?
Avidya. Avidya only is called nescience. So it's very clear. What you get by vidya and what you get by avidya is very different. What is that difference? That Prabhupada will explain in the purport. But before that, I want to show this one small part. That by following vidya, Prabhupada explains in the purport that one gets what is called good qualities. He gets good qualities. And by following avidya, he gets bad qualities. Please note this. This is how the difference in result will be explained. By following avidya, which is total nescience, whatever was described in the shloka earlier as godless education and false education, all are put as avidya here. Because all are leading to darkness only. Na? In mantra 10, avidya means all the types of education which was explained in the mantra number 9. But mantra 10's vidya means spiritual knowledge. You see here. Here it comes, spiritual knowledge. So material knowledge, avidya, gives bad qualities. Whereas spiritual knowledge gives good qualities. So that is the result difference. Good quality, bad quality. Okay. So Prabhupada will explain this very nicely by quoting from Bhagavad Gita. Very interesting shlokas come now. We will read Bhagavad Gita also. So read the heading and continue. Cultivating. Read this.
Purport: cultivating good qualities by culture of knowledge.
Hmm.
As advised in chapter 13 of the
Hmm.
Bhagavad Gita, 13.8 to 12,
Mhm.
one should culture knowledge in the following way.
So here the Bhagavad Gita shloka is being quoted. This is a very important shloka in Bhagavad Gita. It's in fact a bunch of 5 shlokas. It comes in chapter number 13. So now what I'm going to show is Bhagavad Gita's shlokas. Okay. So this is Bhagavad Gita 13.8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. It's told in Prabhupada by Prabhupada in the purport only. It starts from Amanitvam, Adambhitvam, very famous lines of shlokas these are. And this lists close to 20 good qualities. These are 20 qualities. Can you read the translation on the screen? Humility.
Translation: humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age and disease, detachment, freedom from
Freedom.
entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest, even mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant event, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self realization, and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be, is ignorance.
Just see what is Prabhupada saying at in the translate. Actually, Krishna himself says this. You see the words. Etat jnanam iti proktam. Whatever told so far is jnanam. Ajnanam yad ato anyatha. Whatever else is ajnana. What it means is, if one is developing knowledge, he should exhibit these qualities. If these qualities are not being developed in the course of one's education, that means he is not truly developing knowledge. He is not truly developing knowledge according to Bhagavad Gita. So you see, there are around close to 20 items which Prabhu just now read. And all these 20 items are listed by Prabhupada in this Ishopanishad's purport. He makes that 20 into 18. Last 4, he makes it into 2. And that's how if you see the whole purport, there are how many items? Count them. Are there 18? Yeah, there are 18. You see this 18, correct? So he
18,
makes them into 18. So you can actually map. आप कनेक्ट कर सकते हो भगवत गीता के वो जो क्वालिटीज हैं और यहाँ डिस्क्रिप्शन जो है ये मैच होता है. So in the Bhagavad Gita shloka we read now, what was the first quality, Prabhu? You read. What was the first quality? Recollect. You want to see it again? Okay, let me show that. Say this. What are the first quality in this?
humility.
Humility. The second is pridelessness. Okay, let's take only these two. Let's remember them. We'll go to Ishopanishad's purport. So first quality here, Prabhupada explains humility. Read this. One should.
First one is one should
Read
become
this.
a perfect gentleman and learn to give proper respect to others.
This is the definition of humility Prabhupada gives. What is that? He is a perfect gentleman. and he gives respect to others. The quality, humility, is to give respect to others. The second one, what was that, Prabhu, in Bhagavad Gita? You recollect?
Pridelessness.
Pridelessness. In the Sanskrit, it is called adambhitvam. मतलब दम्भ नहीं रखना. That is dambha. First one was मान नहीं, दूसरा दम्भ नहीं. Amanitvam, adambhitvam. So dambha means to show oneself, to like show off, they say, no, or hypocrisy, like that. So read the second one. One should not.
Second one should not pose himself as a religionist simply for name and fame.
This is the definition of adambhitvam, pridelessness. What was the first one? What was the first quality?
Humility.
Humility. The second one is pridelessness. So pridelessness, to become prideless means to not pose oneself as something one is not, or for mundane purpose to show. See, there are many people who show themselves to be saints to get good fame, followers. Is it not? That's condemned by Krishna. And in Bhagavad Gita, what are the next two qualities? Let's see. Do you have, can someone open in your mobiles the Bhagavad Gita 13 chapter 8th verse? Because now what we will do is we'll start mapping them. Please check in your Bhagavad Gita app, 13th chapter, 8th shloka. Good. You have it in your phone? Okay. So tell the third quality, Prabhu, in the phone. What's the third quality?
Non-violence.
Non-violence. So Prabhupada will describe non-violence in third. Read this in Ishopanishad.
Third one should not
One
become
should not.
one should not become a source of anxiety to others by the actions of his body, by the thoughts of his mind, or by his words.
We think non-violence means to not kill others. Huh? But Prabhupada goes one step ahead. One should not become a source of anxiety. दूसरों को तंग नहीं करना है. हाँ? विचारों से भी तंग नहीं करना चाहिए. दूसरों को anxiety नहीं देना. हाँ? By words, one should not speak wrong or harsh words to cause other person in disturbance. That is following non-violence. What's the fourth quality in Bhagavad Gita?
Tolerance.
Read it in fifth, fourth one.
Fourth point, one should learn forbearance even in the face of provocation from others.
Tolerance means to learn to forbear, even in the face of provocation. Very, very important quality. In fact, it is easier to say, but it's a very lofty quality. Prabhupada tells in Krishna book, the greatness of a person is estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. Prabhupada tells in Krishna book, a person is called great if he is tolerant. Okay, fifth one. Bhagavad Gita.
Simplicity.
Simplicity. Ishopanishad.
Fifth point, one should learn to avoid duplicity in his dealings with others.
Simplicity means to avoid duplicity. Simplicity doesn't only mean to have simple clothes, not have many things. That's one part. But sometimes people can be simple even while they are rich. You're getting? Like Yudhishthir Maharaj was very simple because he don't had this duplicity. So simplicity means no duplicity. Sixth quality in Bhagavad Gita.
Approaching a bona fide spiritual master.
Read here. Ishopanishad.
Sixth point in Ishopanishad. One should search out a bona fide spiritual master who can lead him gradually to the stage of spiritual realization. And one must submit himself to such a spiritual master, render him service, and ask relevant questions.
See, in this list of 18 qualities or 20 qualities, two are very important. The first one is number 6. This is like an entry point. If one does this, then he can begin all others. Sixth one. Another one is 16. That will come ahead. I'll talk about it later. So what is sixth one? Approaching a spiritual master. Acharyopasanam. Krishna tells in Gita like that. Means one should take shelter of a spiritual master. One should serve him. One should inquire from him, hear from him, please him. That is sixth one. Seventh one.
Seventh in the Bhagavad Gita is cleanliness from
Cleanliness. Okay, good.
Ishopanishad. In order to approach the platform of self-realization, one must follow the regulative principles enjoined in the revealed scriptures.
Yes, see, cleanliness has a different meaning only Prabhupada is giving here. He's telling, follow the regulations of Shastra. That is cleanliness. Because they are meant to clean not only our body, but also our mind, our ego, our consciousness. That is cleanliness. Eighth one.
Eighth one in the Bhagavad Gita is steadiness from Ishopanishad. One must be fixed in the tenets of the revealed scripture.
Tenets means teachings. So fixed in the teachings means one should be nicely following them, always following them in all situations and places and times, all that. Ninth one.
Ninth one in the Bhagavad Gita, self-control from the Ishopanishad. One should completely refrain from practices which are detrimental to the interest of self-realization.
It is self-control, controlling from practices which are harmful for spiritual life. 10th one. All of you are able to follow this sequence. You can even mark the Bhagavad Gita words along next to Ishopanishad purpose. 10th one.
10th one from the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah. Yes.
Renunciation of the objects of sense gratification.
Okay.
From the Ishopanishad, one should not accept more than he requires for the maintenance of the body.
Yes. Renunciation of objects. So one should accept only what one needs for one's body. That is 10th. 11th one.
11th one, absence of false ego. From the Bhagavad Gita and from the Ishopanishad, one should not falsely identify himself with the gross material body, nor should one consider those who are related to his body to be his own.
So this is the term in Sanskrit called anahankara. Anahankara. One should not have ahankar. Ahankar means to identify with body. So anahankara means to not falsely identify with the gross material body, thinking things to be his own like that. 12th one, very interesting. Read the Bhagavad Gita version.
12th one from the Bhagavad Gita. The perception of the evil of birth, death, old age, and disease. And from the
see in the famous word in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Dosha Anudarshanam. You must have heard this. Dukkha Dosha Anudarshanam. The miseries or dukkha in this world are these four. What are they? Birth, old age, disease, and death. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. To see them that they are evil, they are death, they are in fact trouble for a jiva. That is another good quality. See, read the Ishopanishad reading. One should.
12th one from the Ishopanishad. One should always remember that as long as he has a material body, he must face the miseries of repeated birth, old age, disease, and death. There is no use in making plans to get rid of these miseries of the material body. The best course is to find out the means by which one may regain his spiritual identity.
So one sees that they are actually a trouble. The way to get them out, get out from them is to get spiritual body. 13th one.
Detachment from Ishopanishad. 13th one.
Detach in the Bhagavad Gita, it is asakti or detachment. 13th.
13 from Ishopanishad is one should
Hmm.
not be attached to more than the
Yeah.
necessities of life required for spiritual
Ah.
advancement.
So this is about attachment to things or necessities, comforts, all that. Okay. Next one, 14th, is not attached to people or material relationships. Read 14th in Bhagavad Gita.
14 from the Bhagavad Gita, freedom from
Hmm.
entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest.
Hmm.
14
Ishopanishad.
from the Ishopanishad, one should not be more attached to wife, children, and home than the revealed scriptures ordain.
See, this is to say that one should not be more attached. If one is a family man, it is his responsibility to take care of them, to take care of their physical needs, social needs, emotional needs, spiritual needs. That's how scriptures explain. But to become more attached, thinking that these are the only people who in my life, they will save me. In fact, they are the goal of my life. That becomes more attachment. That is, that is not very healthy for spiritual life. See them as, devotees. See them as, Krishna given responsibilities to take care and serve them, but not become attached on the bodily plan. 15th one.
15 from the Bhagavad Gita,
Hmm.
even-mindedness amid
Ah.
pleasant and unpleasant events.
Yes. So 15th one here in Ishopanishad is
From the Ishopanishad, 15 point, one should not be happy or distressed over desirables and undesirables, knowing that such feelings are just created by the mind.
this is even-mindedness. In Bhagavad Gita, it is called Nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishtopapatishu. Whatever you get, whether you desire it or not desire it, you be in samachitta, just even-mindedness. Now, 16th one is the prime good quality. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says that is actually unalloyed devotional service. What was the earlier one which was important I had mentioned? Recollect? Which one was that we had seen?
Spiritual master, bona fide
Oh.
spiritual master.
Bona fides. That's the 6th one. Now 16th one is like an entry point. If you don't do 6, then you will not start only this journey. And if you don't reach 16th, that means you have not completed this. Is it not? 16th is like the goal or the prime good quality among all the 20. 6 is like the entry point. If you don't begin 6, then you have not started. If you don't reach 16, that means you have not completed. 16th. Read the Bhagavad Gita.
16 point from the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
Constant and unalloyed devotion to me. 16 from the Ishopanishad. One should become an unalloyed devotee of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and serve him with rapt attention.
Rapt attention. See, this is the goal of following all good qualities. Ultimately, it should lead to devotional service. Krishna himself is saying, unalloyed or pure devotional service. This is the goal. Now, the next two qualities Prabhupada summarizes in the point number 17 in Ishopanishad. So read in Bhagavad Gita, next two good qualities.
Bhagavad Gita, point 17.
17.
Aspiring to live in a solitary place.
And read one more also.
The next one
Yes.
is detachment from the general mass of people.
So these two are put in Ishopanishad in point number 17. Read this. One
Point
should develop.
17 Ishopanishad. One should develop a liking for residence in a secluded place with a calm and quiet atmosphere, favorable for spiritual culture. And one should avoid congested places where non-devotees congregate.
See here, In general, spiritual practices are advocating one to not associate with worldly people. That's why secluded place, all that is mentioned. Where non-devotees are there, where people, materialists are there, don't gather there, don't socialize there. But in devotional service, we know that association of devotees is most important because they will help us remember Krishna. So in that sense, seclusion means association of devotees. So that's how we understand. The next two qualities in Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita, accepting the importance of self-realization.
Yeah.
Next point also, Prabhu.
Yeah, next point. That's the last one in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah.
Yes. And philosophical search for the absolute truth.
So these two are told in 18th point in Ishopanishad. Yeah, one should.
18 point Ishopanishad. One should become a scientist or philosopher and conduct research into spiritual knowledge, recognizing that spiritual knowledge is permanent, whereas material knowledge ends with the death of the body.
One should know how important is the spiritual path, and one should invest his energy to understand it properly. That's the last quality. So Prabhupada says further something interesting. Read these 18 items. Read these 18 items.
These 18 items combine to form a gradual process by which real knowledge can be developed. Except for these, all other methods are considered to be in the category of nescience.
See, this is interesting. If we are becoming educated, we are expected to develop these 18 qualities. If not, that is not complete knowledge. That is nescience. All other methods are considered ajnana. In fact, very remarkably, one of our acharyas who is very, very learned, Srila Bhakti Thakur, he was so learned. Even the people of Britain, they would consider him like Shakespeare. He was so learned in many varieties of knowledge, and they respected his knowledge. He considers, oh, I learned so much of knowledge which was devoid of Krishna consciousness. And he says something interesting. Read ahead, Srila Bhakti Thakur.
Srila Bhakti Thakur, a great acharya, maintained that all forms of material knowledge are merely external features of the illusory energy, and that by culturing them, one becomes no better than an ass.
Ass. He told it, Gadha. He uses it in our bhajan actually. If one is reading a lot, earning a lot of degrees, but he has not come to the conclusion of devotional service, it is like a burden on him. Why Gadha? Why not Kutta? Gadha, because Gadha carries a lot of burden, no? है ना? A washerman इतना उसके ऊपर डालता है. And is it useful for that as ass or Gadha? Does it wear those clothes? No. It is following what his master says fruitlessly. So much hard work he does. But how, does it come to his use at the last point of life? No. No. Just to earn some living, he has done such hard work, and that is burden. So Prabhupada says, can you read this highlighted part? By advancement
of material knowledge, modern man is simply being converted into an ass.
Into an ass. So Prabhupada says, now further what comes ahead is very starking. Prabhupada, this he is writing in 1960s, 1950s and 60s. At that time, he is seeing society and he's seeing already symptoms of this godless education, material education, which is making people into ass. What symptoms? Can you read it in the modern society?
In the modern society, even a boy thinks himself self-sufficient and pays no respect to elderly men. Due to the wrong type of education being imparted in our universities, boys all over the world are giving their elders headaches. Thus, Sri Upanishad very strongly warns that the culture of nations is different from that of knowledge. The university
See, nowadays you can see people are committing crimes in schools. Can you imagine? They are shooting, they are carrying guns, they are committing all kinds of abuses, all drug addiction, sexual exploitation, disobedience to teachers. Teachers are shown guns, they are shot by students. Can you imagine? In schools. And just see, proper at that time itself, he told boys in the universities are giving headache to elders. They don't know how to control these children who are too smart. Is it not? Today's children are too smart, no? In technically, is it not? And they are so bad in their values. They are so disrespectful, impatient, and they are causing mess, ruckus, such chaos. So that's why Prabhupada made this very bold statement. Universities are, read this,
the universities are, so
the
to speak,
universities
centers of naissance only. Consequently,
science
scientists
only. In another place, he says they are spiritual slaughterhouse. You know, slaughterhouse. What is slaughterhouse? What happens in slaughterhouse?
animals are killed ruthlessly.
Kasai Khana, no? Killed. So, like that, people who are going to the modern schools and colleges, they are being killed spiritually. They don't have any trace of spiritual aspirations. They become like demons. You know, you send a very innocent child, at the end, he comes out so crooked, so selfish, so technically advanced. My God, he's so dangerous. The same family people are so afraid of him. What he will do? Nowadays, people are calling police and telling that this person is doing us abuse, and they're sending parents only to jail. Who will tame them? So, such kind of education, that's the result of avidya, the bad qualities. So far, we saw 18 qualities, and good qualities. If one is following vidya, one should develop those good qualities. But if one is following avidya and not following God consciousness, he develops these good qualities. This is bad qualities. So below you read religious principles.
Religious principles or
Below you read.
religious principles are taught for the sake of name and fame only, and not for the sake of practical action. Thus, there is animosity only in social and political field, but in the field of religion as well.
So before this, I wanted to point this out. Prabhupada was so clear. You see, he says colleges or education means they should teach the principles of brahmacharya. You may wonder how come brahmacharya has a relevance in education. You see, in today's education, all the degrees, graduate degrees, what are they called, Prabhu? How do they begin when we call them? What we call BA, BCom, BSc. What does B mean? What does B mean? बी मतलब क्या है? वो बीई में, बीए में, बीकॉम में, बीएससी में, बी मतलब क्या है?
Bachelor.
Bachelor. See, even those who had made the system, they knew that, oh, this education should be following the lifestyle of a bachelor. Bachelor means unmarried, na? Bachelor
Yes,
means what? Unmarried, right?
yes.
There was an understanding that education means a state or situation of life before marriage. Nowadays, is that taught? In schools only, they are encouraging dating, encouraging all kinds of remixing. How can there be education there? As soon as such attraction and distractions come, education gaya raddi mein. Correct? Are you all following this? How Prabhupada is making this point? So, education actually means following these principles of brahmacharya. He's making this point here. And later he tells that those people who are teaching religion, who are teaching some scripture, they are also teaching it for some name and fame. They are quarreling over each other. So that is also not done properly. So like this is all the quality of avidya. People who have got this avidya, they become so selfish, exploitative. In fact, they become the leaders of the country. They think my country is great. I should protect my country at any cost. They will use weaponry, advanced knowledge for what? To kill other country, to kill other countrymen. Today we are seeing that in full blown way, is it not? So they think the education has made them very competent, capable to do this. But actual education should make one humble. We are such a small part in this entire creation. There are innumerable planets, and in that planet there are so many events that are happening. We are in one small planet, in one small place in this planet, and that too we are troubled by so many things which are not in our control. So realizing this is actually vidya. But those who don't realize, they are falsely proud. They are in avidya. Read this. No one cares.
No one cares for the cultivation of real knowledge. Yet people
Uh,
are falsely proud of being advanced in both material and spiritual knowledge.
so people are proud of their knowledge. But actually, the knowledge should lead to good qualities like what is described in Bhagavad Gita, which Prabhupada just now listed. So a real learned person, he automatically is humble, is God conscious. But nowadays, you see, more educated a person is, more arrogant he becomes, more proud and more selfish he becomes. So how do we get this vidya then, which is taught in this shloka? That can be gotten by following a guru or in other words called dhira. Read this highlighted part.
A dhira is one who is not disturbed by this mantra states that the instruction of vidya, knowledge, must be acquired from a dhira. A dhira is a one who is not disturbed by material illusion. No one can be undisturbed unless he is perfectly spiritually realized, at which time one neither hankers nor laments for anything. Adhira realizes that the material body and mind he has acquired by chance through material association are but foreign elements. Therefore, he simply makes the best use of a bad bargain.
So yes, some qualities that dhira are told. What are they? Just see. What are the qualities of dhira explained? Just see, in whatever you read, it's there.
He doesn't get disturbed by material illusion.
He's not disturbed. See, sometimes illusion is so many varieties, is it not? So one is not disturbed. He understands, oh, this is matter, it's not permanent. It will give me misery. He's not disturbed. Then what else?
He neither
else?
hankers nor laments.
Oh, I said, he doesn't like lament, oh, I lost it, oh, I want it. He doesn't hang. Anything others? Any other quality?
He knows that the
knows
material body and mind he has acquired by through a chance.
So this body and mind, he has gotten because of karma. They are not himself, they are foreign to the soul. They are external to the soul. And lastly, he follows this principle called best use of bad bargain. You know, bargain? Bargain करना मतलब क्या है? बोलते हैं ना, bargain. क्या है bargain? कभी कभी सब्जी खरीदने में, शॉपिंग में जाते हैं तो बार्गेन करना चाहिए बोलते हैं. बार्गेन मतलब क्या है? Try to get that at the least price, है ना? Bargain में. So we wanted happiness, but we fell into a wrong deal, an unfair deal. We paid a lot to get this material happiness. We paid our spiritual life. And what we got this material body and mind. That was a bad deal, is it not? It was a bad deal. So we have gotten this bad body and mind, which is material. So how it can be used? The best use of that material body and mind is in spiritual activities. Engage them in spiritual activities. The best use of bad bargain. कभी कभी हो जाता है ना, कुछ खरीदने जाते हैं तो कुछ गलत आ जाता है, गलती हो जाता है, कुछ तो खरीद के आ जाता है. After that, what to do? I have got this now. I should use it somehow. Let me use it. घर में माँ use कर लेती है तो, है कि नहीं? So we have gotten this body and mind, which is a bad bargain. To use it for the right purpose, best purpose, that is spiritual life. So Prabhupada explains that part in the rest of the purport. A person who is not dhira, that means he has not gotten this spiritual training. People today, they pose themselves as dhira, but they are all not having spiritual vision. So how can they give proper education? A proper education can be gotten from a dhira only. That is the
घोमन ऑनलाईन वाल्यांची स्क्रीनशॉट घे अटेंडन्सचा.
घेतले.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Am I audible?
Yes, Proj.
Am I audible, Prabhu? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes, Proj. Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, Proj. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Okay. I was showing that last part. Am I audible now?
Yes, Proj.
Okay. So I was showing this last part, that one who is not a dhira cannot give us reason. So maybe we will end with this small last slide, because anyway today there is a lot of disturbance in network. I'm extremely sorry for that. So what did we see today? We saw three aspects very clearly. What are they? The first is how we develop good qualities by following vidya or knowledge. That's the first thing. Then bad qualities by following vidya. What are the good qualities you remember? Any of what do you remember in that good qualities? Which were there?
Humility, steadiness.
Yes, steadiness. Total of around 18 or 20 were there. है ना? So
Yes.
that is good qualities. But bad qualities by avidya. What bad qualities we saw Prabhupada explained? What bad qualities? You recollect? Remember how today students have become more troublesome. They are disrespecting elders, is it not? They have caused so much of crimes, exploitative, selfish, wars. All that is coming because of avidya. It is compared to what? It is compared to like an ass. You remember Bhakti Thakur told that. So what is the solution, Prabhupada says? From the shloka. That is, one should take what? What's the solution? Last part it was told, no? One should take spiritual knowledge from a dhira. Dhira. The qualities of dhira were also explained at the end. Okay? So this is shloka number 10. There is one more shloka in this series, shloka number 11, which is also very connected to this. We'll see that next week. Okay. So today we saw mantra, we completed mantra 9 and we did mantra 10. We completed mantra 10. Mantra 11 we will solve and do it in the next class. Okay. Any comments or questions? Any comments or questions?
No, Proji.
Yes. No. Anyone else online?
No, bro.
Okay. So we will conclude for here today. I'm ending 5 minutes early because it's a new shloka. If we begin, it will take time. We will do it afresh in the next session. Okay. I'm sorry for the disconnections repeatedly happening. We will meet next week better. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Ishopanishad ki jai. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam to all. Hare Krishna.
ऑफलाईनला दोघंच आहे का तुम्ही? हरे कृष्णा. ऑफलाईनला दोघंच आहे का?
हा, आम्ही दोघंच आहे.
भाऊ वगैरे कुठे गेला?
भाऊ एंगेजमेंटला गेलाय कोणाच्या तरी.
मम्मी
काय माहित नाही मला.
ताईला पण नाही माहिती.
नाही, आम्ही दोघंच आहे, प्रथमेश प्रो आणि मी.
ठीक आहे चालतंय मी. ओके.
चाल,
हरे कृष्ण. धन्यवाद मॅनेज केल्याबद्दल.
बस का पार्टी ते गोविंदास मध्ये आता.
तेवढं नको सांगू भाई. ओके. हरे कृष्ण.
चला, हरे कृष्ण.
मीटिंग एंड कर तिथून सगळ्यांसाठी.
काय
मीटिंग एंड कर रे. मीटिंग एंड कर लॅपटॉप वरून सगळ्यांसाठी.
मीटिंग एंड?
एंड मीटिंग फॉर ऑल असं करायचं.
काय आलं असणार आहे? कुठे रे एंड? स्टॉप रेकॉर्डिंग करू का?
स्टॉप रेकॉर्डिंग